when you put yourself in a position to do something every day, because it's part of your routine, you see that you get better at it.
I was super bad at public speaking. And what better way to change a habit than to put 3 cameras, a producer, a camera operator, and you're like spot on.
To create opportunities, you need to work for it. And this work you put in on a daily basis will then give you new opportunities.
I find so many people struggling today, often working harder simply because they clinch to new ideas. They want things to be the way they were and they resist change. I know people who are losing their jobs or their houses, and they blame technology or their economy or their boss. Sadly, they fail to realize that they might be the problem. Old ideas are their biggest liability. It is liability simply because they fail to realize that while that idea or the way of doing something was an asset yesterday, yesterday is gone. Jan, this is an extract from Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki. This book, just this extract, talks about self-awareness, being aware of what you're doing, being aware of your mistakes, and from all the captions I've read that you wrote and my little homework I did, I could see that you're really into that, and I think that would be a good gift to give to you, and hopefully you can learn something.
Oh, really?
I think it is a pretty
this is amazing, bro.
popular book amongst entrepreneurs and people that want to better themselves, especially when it comes to finance.
Yeah. Oh, bro, thank you. Like, this is really, really cool.
It's a pleasure,
because, like, that's actually something I'm really into.
Yeah.
And this list, like, I think it's on my reading list for such a long time. But especially for me with ordering books, it's just like, okay, I find something new, and then I'm interested in this, and then I order it. And so what's on my list is just like gone. And it takes time until I'm really getting to the book. So it's really cool because I wanted to read it forever, and I've heard it it was recommended from so many people.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Like, I'm really looking forward to read it.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm so happy that you can use it.
Yeah, thank you. That's for real a really, really nice gift. So appreciate it a lot.
We're starting the podcast off with a big win. I'll follow up with the intro. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? We're doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. And today we're here with a brand new episode of the Success Show. Today we are at the State of Mind pop-up store. We're in Vienna. First of all, big thanks to State of Mind, Ben, Nico, all the people that are part of the organization for letting us be here. Super cool to get to talk with people like Jan, Max, Francisco, people that we talked to today that you'll see coming online in the next few days. It's amazing. And I'll just start with another little quote, something that you wrote exactly 1 year ago, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. So let's get it. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. It's insane. 1 year ago, I would have never thought that I'd be able to put a camera down in the gym and pose in front of people staring at us. It took me a long time and a lot of practice until I realized that, in the end, nobody cares. Everyone is way too obsessed with themselves to think longer than a few seconds about you. And even if you do, why should you care? Do what makes you happy. Otherwise, you'll regret it, and regret is one of the worst feelings you can face. You wrote this actually 1 year ago. And I think to start the podcast, it would be a good topic to talk about fear of judgment. And other people, what they think about you, especially when you take more like the misfit path or a path that is not common amongst people from your age group.
Yeah, first of all, like, really nice that you found this quote. And like, of course, it's a little like the way I meant it is represented in also how I wrote it, but it's a little exaggerated. Like, in the end, I don't mean that no one cares, but that's something, like a thing you really should think about. And the beginning of the quote with like, it never ceases to amaze me, it's actually from a Stoic, from Stoicism, from philosophy. And it basically says that random people on the streets, you who look at you, you think that they are like very obsessed about you and they judge you in every single way. But in the end, it's more about that, someone looks at you on the street and they don't care at all. Like, they see you for 2 seconds, maybe they have a small thought about you, but then they will forget you for the rest of life. And this is just a thing that became very clear to me, like in the beginning of, or like exactly 1 year ago, because I struggled a lot with self-confidence and how other people see me. But once I noticed like how less people you don't really know really care about you, then it makes it so much easier for you to also do what you really like. Because I think one of the big one of the big stones that's in your way on when it comes to really doing what you want to do is the fear of judgment, and that other people, yeah, that you're scared about what other people think. But once you realize that everyone's main priority is just themselves, it becomes easier that you're also going to make yourself your main priority.
Before you continue watching, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you never miss a future upload. You mentioned Stoicism. I think that's super interesting. It's a way of life almost, right?
Yeah.
It has taught you this, or it has probably helped you realize that. Or some other lessons that you took from Stoicism? Because I've read Marcus Aurelius, I've read Seneca, Meditations. I think there's some other books that were really good from them. What are some other lessons that you've learned from them? Because I think it's super interesting. Those people were, for example, Meditations is like a diary from someone that at some point in time was the emperor of Rome, which was the biggest like kingdom in the world.
Yeah.
And you could just read his thoughts and things that he was thinking day to day, which was like super insightful for me. I don't know if you have any lessons that you took from Stoicism.
Yeah, like Meditations is still on my reading list. I really want to read it, and I think it's really amazing that people who lived such a long time ago already have, at least in my opinion, like a way improved form of thinking compared to what we have now. I think the main point that I can just take from everything is also connected to this quote that that everyone is way too obsessed with everyone else and what they are thinking, what they are doing, and you want to be like other persons, and you all the time you think about what they actually think about you, and if it's like good enough what you're doing. And in the end, like Stoicism for me teaches mainly that you should really focus on yourself and to really visualize what you want to do with your life. And then Stoicism is kind of a guide of how to achieve this. And to have your routine, to have like your clear mind about that you should focus on yourself and set your priorities right. I think that's like what it's mainly about for me. And then of course like lots of small things that can be just like seen as some tips in your like daily routine.
This I think also draws back to confidence. You mentioned it in the beginning, and now you're mentioning it again. Were there some key elements that you implemented into your daily routine, or maybe things that you realized that helped you like better your confidence?
Yeah, like there are some things that I think really changed me. Like I think it's not directly connected to Stoicism. Of course, it is a little bit as well. But I was, think it was even like 2-3 years ago. I was like a very very shy person. So I was this kind of guy who, like back in high school, who was scared to talk to new people, who was scared to talk to girls, and if I wanted to if I had a presentation, I was really like shaking in front, and this like I observed like or no absorbed it, like this really like the whole day I thought about like this presentation because I was scared about what other people think about me, and then I was standing there shaking and feeling judged, and so I was like a very shy person, and I wanted to change this, and the main things that helped me to change this were about doing sports and to getting a little bit out of my comfort zone. Like it started with doing sports and going to the gym because I wasn't satisfied with my body and how I looked. And this was like really the starting point because slowly after a few years, I felt more comfortable about how I look. And already this feeling more comfortable makes you way more confidence because once you feel good about yourself, about how you look, how you dress, what you do, then you already like build up this confidence. You don't think about what other people think about you that much anymore. And the other thing was just to get like slowly out of my comfort zone because I think I even like 2-3 years ago, this was like the only time I really bought like a course or it was like access to a website, and because it was from a guy called Mo Samuels.
Yeah.
And I watched him a lot because he did a lots of gym related videos and also videos about getting out of his comfort zone, about like doing some like funny interviews on the streets and just making themselves uncomfortable in like crazy outfits, where like normal people would be like, damn, I would never do this because everyone would think I'm stupid. And he started with this like getting out of his comfort zone, and then he published a website where you could sign up for, I think it was like €10 a month or something, and there he had bunch of videos about how to slowly get out of the comfort zone and what to do to actually gain more confidence. And then I started to do this, go a little bit out of my comfort zone.
What were you doing exactly, if I may ask? Or what were
Yeah, of course.
some elements of the course?
This is also like the reason why I started with social media, like not to gain a following or do something with it, but like the first thing I really did to go knowingly out of my comfort zone was that I recorded myself in the gym. And in the beginning, it was crazy. Like I had my phone, I was hiding it behind a dumbbell so no one would see it. And then I looked around, oh, it's very empty. Now I film real quick. Then I did like a super quick set of like bench pressing or something. And this was like the really first step of getting out of my comfort zone. And with this, I already noticed that I did it again and again. The following week, it already became easier for me. And I was like, okay, now I'm not hiding my phone anymore. I can just put it in front of a dumbbell. And I was still very scared about, especially if like people looked at me and they looked at the phone. And I was like, oh, what are they going to think now? And then I looked back and was like, oh, sorry, like if it's weird what I'm doing. But you get like used to it and it became way easier. And then after some time, I had like no problem anymore to film myself in the gym. I was like, okay, what's the next step? And I always wanted to do something, like I always looked up to people who upload fitness content, like the big athletes, gym athletes like David Lates and people like this. And I thought, okay, this is really cool what they are doing. And so I thought, okay, why not uploading my stuff on social media as well? And then I also could just connect this to like do something again that is uncomfortable for me. And then the first step was I thought, okay, where am I uploading it? And then I thought about TikTok, but mainly with the reason behind it that I knew not so many people would find my content. And then I uploaded the first videos out of the gym, which were also really bad, but on TikTok. And I think after a few hours already, someone from my class at university found out and even wrote me, "Yo, you're uploading TikToks," and I was going like crazy. I was like, "Oh damn! Like, should I delete this video now, or what am I doing? If I delete it, it's also weird because I know he's seen it, and what is he going to think about me if I? Then he thinks that I don't want anyone to know." But yeah, then I let it on TikTok, and was fine in the end. Of course, it's fine. And that's how it then slowly started. And then I uploaded it on TikTok more and more and more. And slowly also people started to have like some interest in it, which was like a really weird feeling because I did this for myself. And then actually people commenting about, oh, I like what you're doing. And this amazing feeling you get. And after some time, I think I reached like 10, 20,000 followers on TikTok.
How long ago was it that you started with this? Because was it before Project 50?
Actually, it was, I think, a few months before I started with Project 50. And like I started Project 50 now, like when the guys did the first round of Project 50, like a year ago or 1.5 years ago, I joined them with this round. And before that, I started uploading on social media. And then I gained like some followers on TikTok, which was crazy because you already noticed the feedback also from people from my class. Because then it was like, oh, yo, Jan, like this is cool. You get some followers, and like especially in the beginning, I was also, damn, this is so nice. And then what's the next step? And the next step was people asking me, oh, why are you not uploading it on Instagram? This was then again like something where I really needed to go out of my comfort zone. Because I was really scared. Like I was even more scared to upload a fitness-related post on Instagram compared to uploading the first post on TikTok. Because now I knew, okay, I have a new site, and people already were following the fitness site, even though I didn't upload anything. And then I knew, okay, once I upload something, it gets suggested to a lot of people I know, and then they see, yo, he's uploading some fitness stuff. Like that's very weird. Like who is doing it? No one else is doing it. It's something different. But yeah, then I uploaded the first picture and I didn't look at my phone like for hours. And yeah, again, like this became easier over time. And yeah, I think this is like kind of the story how I built my confidence, because then that's for myself. I think also my friends noticed like confidence wise, I changed a lot the last 2-3 years from like that I was like really, really shy and not even being able to speak to people. I speak to new people I don't know, to now where I would say I'm still like often I think very introverted, but my confidence went really high. So like now I also not like in an egoistic way, but in more of a way where I say I really don't care what other people think, and I know that when I want to do something, I do it. When I want to speak to certain people, I just go for it because I know like there's nothing really bad that can happen. It can only has positive outcomes, and this is kind of how like I gained a little bit more confidence.
So you had that with posting, and then the quote that I read in the beginning was about posting a shirtless pic,
Yeah,
like showing off your muscles.
yeah,
Was it again one of those moments where you had to go again out of your comfort zone?
exactly. Like it's exactly like you said. Then it was I already got comfortable to me to upload pictures on Instagram or some videos or showing my workout, and filming was also no problem anymore. But then I never in my life showed myself without the shirts online. And again, this was like a really big step because then there were so many elements about like this is something also no one, like in quotes, normal would do to upload just a shirtless pic. Then the next step is like working on my body was a thing that I then did for several years. So something I was really focused on. And I think especially if you put a lot of time into something, you're just scared about judgment and that you didn't do enough and that you're not good enough yet, that you're not at a certain point where you're also in quotations marks able to upload this picture of you. Uh, so yeah, this was all again like a big step where I was going back and forth. Should I really upload it? Like, is it necessary? But at this moment, I was already a little bit more into self development, and I knew, okay, if I'm gonna do this, this will become easier. There's no problem. So I really have to do this as the next step. And then I uploaded a picture. Then the people who liked my content, my friends, they all were like really nice about it and left some like good comments, which also gave me like kind of a rush again of it was actually nice to do it. And yeah, this was then again the next step to like slowly go out of my comfort zone. And really every time I went out of my comfort zone, I grew more. I don't know if you can say grew, but I built up more confidence. So it was like going out of your comfort zone, even though it's only a little step, also can be something like go to a random person on the streets and just say like, hey, have a nice day, or I like your shoes. And once you do it, it becomes more normal to you. Then you do it again and again, and you every time you do it, you build up a little bit more confidence. And this is how it works. You go step by step and it becomes easier. And yeah, then the next step at this point was to upload share this picture of me on social media.
It's super interesting you're saying this because actually this podcast I started it because like I was super bad at public speaking. Like I'm originally I'm French,
Yeah.
so we tend to speak super fast. And at every school presentation or every business pitch I would do at a client, they would tell me, "Look, we can't even hear you. Like we can't understand what
Yeah.
you're saying." And then I would have to like breathe and like it would get super red and it would get super awkward. And then something I was like, "Damn, I have to really change this." And what better way to change a habit than to put 3 cameras, a producer, a camera operator,
Yeah.
and they're like spot on, and you have to do it. And I've had podcasts in the beginning where I really struggled, like it was super hard to find the flow, or I would like really read, like even now I have notes because I still like I don't want to like have a blackout, which has happened before. But now I don't even have to look at it anymore. Like
Yeah.
it goes really natural, and I think by just putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation, like it helps so much. And
Yeah.
like yeah, it's just really relatable to hear this.
Yeah. I think like you're also with this a perfect example. Like what you're doing now is like it's so professional. And if I would imagine myself like 2 years ago sitting in front of 3 cameras, you have like so many people helping you out with this, and this like just high end setup. Uh, I wouldn't have done it. And but that's the perfect way, exactly like you did it. Like you had something you care about, and then if you want to change something, you have to go out of your comfort zone to actually change, because you never grow when you're stuck in your comfort zone. And I think especially something like this with social media, it became so typical to say, yeah, you have to go out of your comfort zone. You never grow when you stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So some people make fun of you when you say stuff like this, but it's just like facts, and you won't get used to something new if you won't make the first step, and the first step is always uncomfortable.
Yeah, and like now obviously like TikTok, Instagram, posting pictures of your muscles in a shirtless way, that all became more mundane. Are there some next things that you like? Because I think at that point, like now you know that discomfort is the way. I can imagine that then becomes hard to find like the next discomfort. So what's next?
Yeah,
Because I saw you started running. Like, are
yeah,
there some things that where you still seek discomfort in order to grow?
yeah, yeah. I think like running is actually a very good point. That fits very well because yeah, like the main sport I did now, like I played for football for 15 years,
Okay.
and yeah, then I switched completely to going to the gym on more like a bodybuilding focus, and now it's a little bit more hybrid sports because I just love every kind of sport. So I try to do mix it up a little bit, but I never was into running, and I really hated it. I hated like every kind of cardio, every kind of every form of cardio, and
Kyoto Games.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like always with the excuse, nah, I have to like, I'm gonna lose muscle if I do cardio. But yeah, like I don't know, like running a marathon, or also doing a triathlon is since a long time on my bucket list. Just because I think it's this nice thing of you really have to prepare for it. You have to like train for something to be able to reach it. So you have to go through a process. Like even though some people are doing it, you technically can't just run a marathon. Like you really have to prepare for it.
Yeah.
And this progress is just like very nice and yeah, something that was now on my list for a long time. And then actually Ben, like Ben Baletta, he called me randomly and we spoke about like marathons and triathlons before. And he was like, "Yo, Flo and me, we're doing a marathon in April in Paris, and you have to join." And
No option.
yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah, you have to join. Like, and I was like, at this moment, I was thinking I was like in my hometown in my old room, and out of nowhere, I just got hyped. And I was like, yeah, that's on my bucket list. I want to do it, even though I don't run. Like I was running like now and then for 10 minutes, and this was already a lot. And but I thought at this moment, like, yeah, that's the next step. Like doing something I'm really not good at. Like I have like some average conditioning for running, and I'm not awful, but I'm not trained at all. So that's the next step to get uncomfortable again. So now I signed up for the marathon in April, and I have to train for it. And running is like really getting uncomfortable for me, and getting out of my comfort zone to do something. So I think that's the next step that follows now. And yeah, then also maybe similar to this as another step that's now also important for me is that I focus now a little bit more on building my own business. And therefore, you again have to start from zero and have to learn new things. You have to get in contact with new people. You really have to reach out to people you never talked to ask them about if it's fine for them that you do a job for their company, which represents them, which is then a big step because you take the full responsibility to it. And yeah, this also took some confidence, took some going out of my comfort zone to reach out to those people, to offer those things, and to go in this direction.
And not only that, because you also moved to a new country, right?
Yeah,
And you
exactly.
set up your business there.
Yeah.
So you're living in Holland right now, in Amsterdam.
Yes, exactly.
Like, could you tell us some more about that?
Yeah, so I moved to Netherlands 3.5 years ago. So I moved to Enschede, and I probably still can't pronounce it right.
Enschede.
Enschede. Yeah, because I wanted to study on English. Or I didn't after high school. Didn't know at all what I really wanted to do, and I just found a study that was where I was like, okay, that's a mixture between some creative things, some business aspects, so that could really fit. So it's communication science, and I really want to study in English because I think I already started with what was it with 16 to watch and read everything in English just to improve. And it was like very fun to me. And then I thought, okay, that could be very nice. And of course, I had to move out. This I think when I was 18, I moved out of my from my hometown. And even though like the city where I moved to wasn't that far away from home, of course, it was this first big step. Okay, you have your friends in your hometown, and you do stuff with them every week. But now you're going to a new city, and you're not able to do things with those people. And never in my life I really took action to get to know people, because like back then, like 3.5 years ago, like I told you, I was very shy, and it was really a problem to go up to new people, to meet new people. But at this moment I knew, oh, I have to meet new people because otherwise I have to spend my time at university alone, and that would really suck. So this was like a big step of just moving out, meeting new people, and putting you in a position where you have to do something you technically don't want to do. And but I think it was also moving out was just like a very important thing for me to just develop myself and to also really find out what I'm interested in, because this forced me to go out of my normal circle and to go out of the circle of friends I'm normally around. Um, and I think like the years before, I was just like part of what everyone else was doing, but not really doing what I want to do. And this pushed me to try out new things. And I think was a really important factor of just like slowly finding out what you like to do, to meet new people, and also again to build up confidence and experience new things.
And how's it been in Holland? Because like I mean, you don't speak Dutch, I think, or
No,
a little bit
no,
maybe.
yeah.
Was it hard to get to know new people? Was it hard to like? It's a new city. Amsterdam is super busy now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also funny, the difference between moving to Enschede and to Amsterdam, because I changed so much in the time. So then also with the language, it wasn't a big problem because in Enschede I had lots of German friends because it was very close to the border.
Okay.
And lots of people from Germany are there, especially in my study. And I also moved there with a friend of mine together. So it was not, I
Yeah.
didn't put myself out there on a spot like completely alone. But so it actually went really fast. Like we had an introduction week where we met lots of new people, and a camp where we were together for a few days with the new people of our class. And there, you're somehow, they force you to meet new people, which for me was very good because otherwise I wouldn't be able to connect to new people. And then I was around lots of German people, so I spoke lots of German with them. And on the other hand, I spoke English, which wasn't a problem for me as well because, since I'm 16, I was very into it. Always got a little bit better in English, so this was also not a problem.
Yeah.
And so this went quite well for me, I think.
So now we're speaking a lot about like seeking discomfort, trying new things, always seeking something that will trigger our mind to be more creative. But something that I've also seen, at least in your videos and the few conversations we've had, is routine. Because in order to have to be in like a to have a mindset, in order to see those new things, I think it's also important to have a strong routine, like good fundamentals. At least that's how I experienced it.
I think like routine is key. Like routine is so important, and I especially found out through Project 50 because this was the first time where I really put myself into a routine where it's non-negotiable to not do the things you have to do. Like before this, I already started reading about routines and doing some things like waking up before 8 or to read every day, but I wasn't really consistent with it. But especially after Project 50, where you have to do like, a certain set of rules every day for 50 days, and if you fail, you have to do it from the beginning again. Like this really showed me how important a routine is because you really notice how far you can actually get. And it's those small things like, for example, working 1 hour on a certain skill set, which was for me, video editing and filming. And because I was already all the time interested in it, like for a bunch of years, but I never really did it. So I thought, okay, with Project 50, I can focus on this a little bit more. And when you put yourself in a position to do something with it every day, because it's part of your routine, you see how, so you just see that you get better at it. And you slowly improve and improve and improve. And this really helps you out. And I think, therefore, like a routine is so important because it forces you a little bit in a direction to get better, to learn new things. But also things like just to have a good start in the day. Like when you start with a small morning routine, like make your bed, maybe take a cold shower if that's your thing, or can be very simple, just like drink a cup of water. If this makes you feel better, this is perfect because you also have the point of if you stick to this routine and you know you already accomplished something in the morning, because maybe you're not always looking forward to going into a cold shower, or even if you're like not waking up not thirsty, even drinking this cup of water because you know it's good for you can help you to make you feel good about yourself. because you did something good for you that you weren't looking forward to do so. And then you start the day completely with a different mindset because you already did something you didn't want to do, and this helps you to just keep the day up, and this gives you like momentum of, okay, I already did something that I wasn't looking forward to do, and now the next thing, maybe when you wake up with a very bad mood and you're just like, okay, I want to stay in bed the whole day, but you started the day already right with your routine, and it just keeps pushing you. Then you do the next thing because you already had a good start, and this again gives you like a good feeling. So you do the next thing, and this just like a routine just helps you all over to really feel good about yourself, but also to just make progress in whatever you do.
It's interesting because what I'm hearing is that you consciously put yourself in a position to succeed, right? You put yourself in a position where you can attain success. And I want to ask you a question. We didn't prepare this at all, but it just came to my mind. It's, do you believe in luck? Because the way I see it is that what you're doing, you're training, I think you're watching your food intake as well, just looking at your body. A lot of people are like, yeah, you just got lucky. You got, because I think, for example, you got to work with like big DJs or like different companies, and you made videos for them. Actually, that only happened because you did Project 50. You learned how to film, then you also went out of your way to learn how to communicate with people. So like all those different things you learned, and then you got the opportunity to actually film with someone, and then it worked. So you've been working a long time to get those opportunities. It wasn't luck, it was hard work, and obviously there's always a factor of like something magical that will just like in the right position at the right place. But if you don't do the work before that, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, like the thing is, I do believe in luck, but you don't need luck to be successful, or like also you won't be successful only with luck. Like to create opportunities, you need to work for it, and you need to build up. You need to get better at a certain thing. You need to put yourself work out there. Or you need to put yourself out there and create connections and go out there to to really do something for what you want to achieve. And then this work you put in on a daily basis, this will then give you new opportunities. Of course, luck can be like luck can help out. Just as an example for I think maybe like even like I think for 4 weeks ago it was the first time I filmed for a nightclub.
Okay.
And I'm still by far from being a very good video producer. And I'm still learning a lot and getting better at it. But then I was really happy because I got the job, and was one of the first few jobs that actually paid me. And then I only got this job because I worked for free before. And I only got the jobs before for free because I started editing videos online. And I only got to talk to a certain person who works for the club because I put out my content on social media, and of course the following helped that they noticed me. So it was just like stone after stone was connected that I got the opportunity to film for them. And then, for example, on this evening, like the first night I filmed for them, there were other DJs, and also I think they were like did something like event management, or they planned their own events, or at least managed their own DJs. And I talked to them on the evening, and they mentioned, oh, yo, by the way, we are also always searching someone who films for us. Like, we never can enough like videographers or people who just like produce content for us. So this was like a very lucky moment that they were there at the same moment, and that we actually come to the topic to filming for them. But this luck was only created because I put in the work before.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's just like you don't have a purely like you don't have a situation that is purely created out of luck. You always have to put in some work, but then some luck can help.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Very beautiful
Nice.
way. You're mentioning all these different things. So you're going to uni, you're working on your health. You're really good at it as well, because bro, like it's really impressive the especially the progress you've made from day one. I looked back to all the posts, and
I appreciate
the triceps they start popping, bro. It's crazy.
Nice.
You're doing that. You're doing online consulting, right?
Yeah, not anymore, but I did it for a year.
You were doing that. Just a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I also started working with nightclubs. I can imagine those jobs are also really, they take a lot of energy because you're out the whole night. And you have to, they probably want same day edit as well. So you're gonna have to edit it all day. In what way do you plan your day? Because I'm always interested in the way that people plan their day, and maybe I can learn something from it. So.
Yeah, I like first of all, it already like when we talk about it like this, it sounds as I got like the lots of things are already figured out and work very well. But I also have it like I have it a lot of the time that I'm like yeah not or not a lot of time, but I also have my moments where I'm not following my routine and nothing worked out as plans. So there are always days where all the things that I know that I have to do, that I'm just like that I'm not doing it, and I skipping on them. Like this won't happen often, but there are always phases where I lack a little bit, and yeah. So most of the times I'm really proud. Yeah, I'm proud about myself as well that I can follow my routine and that I go with it. But there are always also some moments that aren't how everyone is like sharing it on social media all the time. Um, but yeah, based on what you said about planning my day, um, yeah, with uni is still my first priority, even though I really want to work for myself and build something for myself also after my study. But it's just something I started, so I'm going to finish it. And also, I promised it my mom, my dad that I study and I'm going to finish it. So that's still my first priority. And yeah, then there's my social media and work, which is kind of connected to each other, and also yeah, fitness. And um, for me, I always have this priority list in mind. So I know, okay, today when there's a day that I have uni, I have to work on a certain assignment, and I have to maybe finish a project for a client, or I have to potentially reach out to new clients and film a social media video and go to the gym. Mm, I always have this prioritized, and I know, okay, first thing in the day, I have a lecture at 9, and then I'm going to the lecture, of course, and then I work on the assignment because it's just like my first priority. So I structure my day before. That first I have my lecture, then on my list is that I have to work on my assignment until a certain time, and after this I'm going to the gym just because gym is for me so deep into my routine that it's just a non-negotiable thing I do, and I don't even think about it. I always have my sport bags with me, and when I finish the task, I'm going to the gym for an hour, 1.5 hours, and then the next task is on the list. And yeah, and then mostly in the evening as the next priority, it's my work and social media. So I have written down that that yeah, after I come back from the gym, I have like half an hour break or 1 hour of break, and then this time is purely scheduled for my work. So it's basically like this that for most of the days I have a schedule of things I want to do. They are prioritized, and then I start to finish those tasks based on the priority list.
What I really like is that in the beginning of your little talk, you start talking about the hardships.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that watch your account and other people's accounts that are doing Project 50 or know how to film well, like it can become maybe demotivating to see everyone
Yeah.
going to the gym, training, making their bed, writing in notebooks, reading,
Yeah.
eating clean. Like me at some point I was like, whoa, I'm really lacking. Like
Yeah.
all these guys are doing so well, and like I'm here, I'm still in my bed, and I see people posting like the 6 a.m. gym selfies. I see Ben running at 5 a.m. in the
Yes.
morning. I'm like, damn, bro, like I have to get up.
Yeah.
Like yesterday we had a small talk. You mentioned that you were sick. Like you had like
Yeah.
almost like a 2 week period where you were kind of feeling more ill.
Mm.
How did you handle that? Because I can imagine when you're on such a high frequency, you're going to the gym, you're working, you're doing all those things, and then you get such a big drawback.
Mm.
How do you handle that?
Yeah, that's actually interesting. So, because especially last month or this month, I really noticed that it still has like a big impact for me. Like I don't even know, but before it was more like this. I never was jealous about people I see online, and yeah, I don't know how it came, but I always seen it as motivation, and I seen it like, oh damn, they are achieving this and this. I want to do this as well, and this pushed me into like trying out new things and doing different stuff. But I also never really compared myself with other body types, even though I train a lot. Um, but for things like this, like now I think I was really like summer sick for like three weeks constantly. Um, and I also struggled a lot with like thinking about that I should actually do something or that other people are moving, making progress, and I have to stay at home and can't do anything. And this was like also really hard for me. And I noticed this because after I had like a tonsillitis, and
What is that for people that don't know?
it's like when you're, I think it's called tonsils in English, like your in
Yeah.
your throat, when our things are really swollen,
Yeah.
and then yeah, it's when you swallow, it really
Hurts.
hurts. You
Yeah.
get a really bad headache, and actually, in the night I googled about like what's the closest hospital because I felt really bad, and at this time where I felt really bad, I also didn't think about okay, I should do something, or I felt bad about that I'm not working. But then when I got slowly better, I was okay. I see all those people on social media. They're grinding. They're putting in a work. Like I haven't uploaded in 5 days, and there are then people again who are doing Project 50 or upload every day. I was okay. If they are doing it, I can do it as well. So I should start again. Why I'm not doing anything, and I kind of forget that I wasn't at 100%. That I wasn't really fit. So I started slowly again going to the gym, doing some sports, and yeah, for example, I had this night where I did shot a behind the scenes video for a DJ, and then at an event where he DJ'd, and it was like I think 2 days after I was really sick, and I was like, okay, I'm slowly getting better. Like my throat isn't hurting anymore, only a little bit, so that's fine. And then yeah, this then I filmed until 2 in the night, and then I slept I think 5 6 hours, but I didn't get too much sleep. I also no good sleep, and then I went to the gym. I also filmed something for the gym because I knew, okay, I have to upload again because everyone else is uploading. So I have to also do something. And yeah, filmed something. Then I went to uni. Then after uni, I've had a meeting in the city center with like a possible client I could work with. So I went there. And after this, at like 7, I went back to uni to sit on some assignments. And already at uni at like 7, I felt, whoa, oh, I'm not feeling that well. And I got a small headache. And I was like, okay, this is not good, but it's probably just because I wasn't drinking enough. But I went home, I went straight to bed, and I was so done. And I woke up the next day with a really bad headache again. So I had again a really bad headache. My throat was hurting a lot again, and there I noticed, okay, I really did too much, even though I wasn't fit. And this was also because I've seen so many people just constantly doing the things again and working on themselves and making progress, which kind of motivated me to do the same, even though I wasn't really able to do this then. So yeah, this was like the weeks where I really noticed, okay, there are still some moments where I compare myself to others, and that pushes me sometimes in a certain direction. It's maybe it can also not be good for me. Even though I know that for 95%, I know seeing all of you guys like posting and doing what they love and working towards their goals really pushes me. But there's still a small percentage where I know, okay, this sometimes it goes in a different direction.
I think it's beautiful that you're so self-conscious. I think it's beautiful that you're so self-conscious and that you manage to see that and also the like distinguish between good and bad. I think that's something that will bring you really far.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's like really it's really inspiring just to hear this as well, and also talking about like the vulnerabilities. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people only show the good parts,
Yeah, exactly.
so
Yeah.
it's good to see that. And what I'm curious about now, we talked about a few different things. I'm super curious. What is next? What are your future goals?
Yeah.
What do you want to achieve?
Yeah, so now, of course, now at the moment, I'm at the point where I nearly finished my master at uni, and I now a few months started like my own business. And my main big goal is really that I'm able to work for myself after finishing my study, or as soon as possible after I finish my study. So that's my main goal. And for example, like Instagram, I don't really have a specific goal for reaching a certain amount of followers, or yeah, just reaching anything special with it. But I know it's also a tool that helps me with my business. So this yeah, I'm gonna work on this as well. But for me, it's very important to have a certain freedom when working. So I really want to decide where to be I really want to decide where I want to be when I want to be somewhere, and also being able financially to do so. And I just know when I'm attached to a job that forces me to be at a certain place, it's something that wouldn't make me happy in the long term, because I know I kind of don't have the full freedom about my whole life, and I know I can create this with um, working for myself, with creating a business, and yeah, this is then now slowly going into this direction that I created like my creative agency, which is at the moment focused on like videos and brand marketing, but I also want to do a little bit more about like marketing aspect itself. And I know this is something that really can help me to achieve this type of freedom and being able wherever I want to be, when I want to be, and also have the financial, for the financial possibilities to do so. So I think that's the next big goal for myself to build this up and to really focus on that I am able to do this full time as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think many of us that are now at the pop-up in Vienna and also that are working on self-development, we start to realize that three things are really important. I'm going to quote
Yeah.
Mengaji, I think you know him as well.
Yeah, of course.
Time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. I think that when you start chasing those three aspects and you become conscious that it is so important to have those three things, especially looking back at like things that happened in the past, just being able to move wherever you want, having the financial means to like go somewhere else, it's so important. And if you just continue going down this path, I think you'll be really successful at that. So
yeah, but I think the same for you. Like, or actually for like everyone who is here at the pop up and having this same like mindset as everyone who's like connected to SOM Studios.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. And just to wrap up the podcast, Jan,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you the signature successful question, and that would be, what does success mean to you, and how would you describe it?
That's a very good question, because I don't know. I think there are many different things that lead to success and that you need to achieve to be successful. But I think in the end, success or wealth means to me to be able to be happy about what you do on a daily basis. That you wake up knowing that you do something you really purely enjoy. And to be able to do so, you have to achieve many different things, like we talked about, like a certain freedom that is connected to where you have to be, when you have to be somewhere, or if you have the financial aspect to do so. Like, these things are related to this. But in the end, I think real success, real wealth for me is to be able to live happy day after day and be happy about what you actually do.
It's beautiful. I don't think I have to add anything to that. Jan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's like,
Keep going with everything you're doing. I think it's also beautiful that you're doing uni also with the promise you made to your parents. Keeping promises, we didn't talk about it, but it's important. It's beautiful and it's really inspiring for all of us. Something that's also a small anecdote. Like in the very beginning when you started uploading, I think on Instagram, I saw your account, but I didn't follow you. I just took one of your sounds. And I was looking back at posts I made like
this is nice.
Like 1 year ago or 9 months ago, and I saw I used one of your sounds. I was like, damn man, now I'm sitting next to you. It's cool, and it's just crazy the way it works with everything. That if you manifest something and if you want to work for something, that you actually get there if you put in the work. And I think you're proof of that. So thank you for for being here, bro.
Thank you for having me. Like, it was really fun.
It's a pleasure, bro.
Okay, thanks, bro.
I'm the most brutal and efficient and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! You should be a monster.